Welcome to Click for IB Biology. We're still in the topic of the niche, and we're now looking at the niche concerning the plant-eating animals and their dentition associated with that process. There's a blank version of this presentation, a PDF down in the description. You can download that, annotate that with your own notes as we go, and then at the end you can take the 10-question quiz and check your progress with the answers, which are also provided. So you may well have the opportunity to examine skulls on your course, and in particular you would be wanting to look at the plant-eating, the herbivore skull structure. It is worth taking time to compare that to the carnivores and omnivore skulls so that we can see the contrasting development of the dentition and skull shape. With the herbivores, the key characteristics that we see are in the large molars and premolars, which are usually the teeth have ridges, and those ridges alongside the powerful muscles attached to the jaw allow a grinding action of plant material. This enables them to break down the resistant plant material before its movement down into the digestive system. And so the dentition of a herbivore is associated with the beginning of the digestive system and the process of ingestion. Another characteristic feature of herbivores is that their front dentition, the incisors, which are teeth for biting, may actually only be present on the lower jaw itself, and the upper jaw has a pad-like structure. This allows the herbivore to use the lower teeth to pinch the grasses and so forth, the plant material, against the upper pad before tearing and ripping this away. This would be very characteristic of sheep species, for instance, and particularly where they're eating very, very short grasses. Then there's a space here, which is called the diastema, the mid-gap diastema. And the purpose of that is that as the herbivore has its head down, its head's looking down, and it's biting with its incisors and gathering the plant material in this pouch and gap area here, then it can raise its head and begin the chewing process. Now, the significance of this for a herbivore is that it doesn't spend too long with its head down, which makes it vulnerable to carnivores such as we have here. And of course, the herbivores have lateral vision, which allows them to be watching on both sides for any advancing predatory carnivores. Other specializations associated with plant eating, we can see here in this giraffe is quite famous for a very prehensile tongue, which allows it to maneuver its way around these acacia spines here and be able to remove the leaf material from the acacia without actually damaging its mouth with those spikes. And although it's not part of the dentition, we'll be aware that the challenge which faces these herbivores is the digestion of the cellulose fibers which exist in the plant material as part of the cell wall, of course. And it's necessary to hydrolyze these bonds here to digest the cellulose down to sugars, but this is only a feature of some fungi, some bacteria, and some protists, some protista, and these organisms therefore have to be working symbiotically within the digestive system of herbivores. Typically, we have ruminants like cows will have an enlarged stomach. The stomach has a chamber in which these bacteria exist, which will bring about the digestion using cellulase to break down the cellulose. This is the enzyme, of course, and this is the substrate, and that happens in the ruminant stomach. Something like a horse, or I believe a goat, they have modified rear gut systems in which the bacteria are held for digestion like that. And then another group with cellulases are the termites with protozoans in their gut, allowing them to break down wood as they digest their way through material. So the strategy of the dentition and the structure of the mouth allows it to bypass some of these anti-herbivore defenses of plants, and then we can overcome the structure of cellulose with cellulases. Of course, in human beings, this doesn't occur, and we are unable to digest cellulose, and indeed that forms what we commonly call in our diet roughage. Here's the link to the next video in the niche series. There's a chance to subscribe to the site in the center, and the niche videos are in the playlist on the right hand side there. Thank you for listening.